I returned to my hometown, the place where I spent most of my childhood and teenage years, after being away for what felt like a lifetime. With each step I took through that familiar street, nostalgia washed over me, bringing back memories long forgotten. It was bittersweet, a mix of emotions that had me feeling both excited and melancholic. As I stood in front of the old family home, now occupied by another family entirely, I couldn't help but think about how much had changed since those days. Life had taken its toll on me, as it does on everyone. The wide-eyed optimism of youth had been replaced by the weariness of experience. But as much as things had changed, there was one constant in my life that remained: my wife. We had met in college and were inseparable ever since. She was my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. We had built a life together filled with ups and downs, but through it all, we remained steadfast. However, as strong as our bond was, there were cracks beginning to show. The stresses of everyday life were taking their toll on both of us. Our once passionate love life had become routine and lackluster. We still cared for each other deeply, but somewhere along the way, we had lost that spark. It was with these thoughts weighing heavily on my mind that I received an unexpected message from an old friend from school, Lisa. She too still lived in town and wanted to catch up and see how life had treated me over the years. We agreed to meet at a local cafe that held many fond memories for both of us. As I sat waiting for her to arrive, a mixture of anticipation and nerves bubbled up inside me. It felt like a first date all over again. When Lisa finally walked through the door with her radiant smile and warm eyes, it was like no time had passed at all. We fell into an easy conversation, picking up where we had left off all those years ago. As we reminisced about old times and caught up on each other's lives, I couldn't help but be struck by how much we had both changed. Lisa had blossomed into a beautiful woman with a confidence that was intoxicating. She spoke passionately about her work as a social worker, and I could see the genuine care she had for helping others. Before I knew it, hours had passed and the cafe was closing up for the day. We said our goodbyes and exchanged contact information, promising to keep in touch this time. Over the following weeks, Lisa and I continued to message each other regularly. What started as innocent catch-ups quickly became more intimate and personal. We shared our hopes, dreams, fears, and desires in a way that I hadn't done with anyone outside of my wife in years. As the conversations grew more intense, so did my feelings for Lisa. It was confusing and overwhelming emotions that I hadn't felt since I first fell in love with my wife all those years ago. I found myself looking forward to every message from Lisa, eagerly devouring her words like a starving man at a feast. The connection between us was undeniable. It felt like finding a missing piece of myself that I never knew was lost. But as much as I wanted to explore these new feelings with Lisa, I couldn't escape the guilt that gnawed at me from within. My wife had done nothing wrong. She was still the same caring and loving person she always had been. How could I betray her like this? Yet despite my inner turmoil, I found myself unable to resist the pull towards Lisa. The emotional affair soon turned physical when we finally gave into our desires one fateful night. The first touch of her skin on mine sent shivers down my spine. Our bodies moved in perfect harmony, as if they were meant to be together. The passion between us was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. In that moment, all thoughts of guilt and betrayal melted away. It was just me and Lisa, lost in the ecstasy of our forbidden love. But as we lay there entwined in each other's arms, the weight of what we had done began to sink in. There was no denying the consequences of our actions, the hurt and pain it would cause to those we loved. I knew then that I had a choice to make: to continue down this dangerous path or to face the truth and put an end to it. It was a decision that would change everything, for better or for worse. And so, as I stood at the crossroads of my life, I couldn't help but wonder, what does true happiness really mean? And at what cost are we willing to pursue it?